Hi, I'm Christine from Remake Scotland again, and this is number 5 in our series of repair videos. So today I'm going to show you how to take up a pair of jeans. Now in the last shot we did taking up a hem, and you can take up jeans in that way too, but there is a slight problem with jeans. First of all, the material is pretty heavy and not so easy to sew with, and secondly, jeans have always got this nice sewn edging, and quite often that edge has been sandblasted or treated in some way, so it's got a kind of worn look, and you can see this has. And if you just take a hem up and sew it invisibly like we did last time, then you don't have that nice finish. So today I'm going to show you a really simple way to take up a pair of jeans, which will give you a nice professional finish and will still have the top sewing at the bottom of your jeans leg. So first thing, it's much easier to do this on a sewing machine than it is by hand, so I'm going to show you it using a sewing machine. Okay, so here are our jeans, and they're far too long, and I have tried my jeans on and I have decided that they need taking up by 8 centimeters. It's quite a lot, but we'll just go with that. So what I want to do then is to measure half of that distance. So get my ruler in, and I'm going to measure up 4 centimeters. And you can mark this, or you can mark it with pins, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to pop a pin in there. And I'm going to turn up 4 centimeters. Pop my pin, I can take it out. So measuring all the way around, making sure you've got it nice and even. I'm not going to measure it because with jeans you can kind of get it quite simply that way. Okay, now the reason for that is because I'm going to stitch along here, and it's going to be twice the amount that we've measured. I'm just going to give it a press just to hold that in place. And then I'm going to take it to the machine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch both pieces of the jean together, and I'm going to stitch just exactly along the edge of the existing hem. It'll be much easier to show you that than to explain it. So let's go to the sewing machine. Okay, so here I am at the sewing machine. I have it threaded up. Now I have it threaded with orange thread, again just so that you can see. Obviously you would use a matching thread. And if you can remove that piece so that you've got the free arm, it will make it a lot easier to sew. It will also make it easier to sew if you have a zipper foot. So I'm going to take my normal foot off. I'm going to put the zipper foot on. Oh. Okay. So, turn my hem up. I'm ready to sew. So I'm going to slip this over the arm. If you don't have a free arm on your machine, it's a little more tricky, but it's still okay. And then I'm going to start on the side seam. I'm going to lower my presser foot. I'm going to lower the needle just so that I can see that it's going into the fabric just inside the existing hem. You don't want to be away out here, and you don't want to be on the hem, you just want to be at the edge of it. That's why using a zipper foot makes it a lot easier. And then once I'm ready, I'm just going to stitch round. Take your time, there's no rush. Just guide it round gently. You're going to have to adjust the fabric on the way. Now when you come to this seam, this double stitch seam, you're going to be sewing through a lot of fabric, and your sewing machine might not like that very much. So slow your stitching right down. You might need to just give it a very gentle, not a pull from behind, but I call it encouragement, just to get past that really tricky section. And then on we go. If you find that your machine is really struggling with the thickness of the fabric or getting over the seams, what you can do is make your stitch slightly longer. I'm using a standard 2.5mm stitch. If you increase it to 3 or even 3.5, your machine will be a lot happier. You can see how it's not terribly happy about going through here. There we are. Okay. Needle up, zip it up, and cut the thread. Okay, so now you can see that when we turn and fold on that stitching line, we now have a new hem on our jeans, and we still have the stitching detail to make it look nice. Okay, so now we have stitched that seam, and even though I used bright orange thread, if I pull it you can't actually see the stitching, which shows you that it's worked. So the next thing I'm going to do is give it a good press. Pressing not only makes things flat, but it actually sets the stitching into the fabric and makes it more secure. Okay. You might want to use some steam for this. Makes it even better. Okay. So we now have a bit of a fold on the inside. Now you can leave that. Now for example, if you were taking up children's jeans with this method, you would leave that because at some later stage you could let them down again by just undoing the stitching. If they're for yourself and you're not obviously going to be growing anymore, then you can trim this fabric off and you can finish the edge. You could use pinking shears, or you could overstitch it, overlock it, or zigzag it with your sewing machine. If it's just for, if it's a temporary shortening, you could just hand stitch the side seams together there and it will stop this bit flapping down and being in the way. But it's a very good tip for children's jeans because they do tend to grow. So there you have it. A nice neat job and your jeans fit you now. Okay.